Hey everyone, welcome to On the Rise. I'm your host, Mike Feinberg. With me as always are Armando Gonzalez and Gerardo Ramos. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Awesome, man. How about yourself?
Doing well. Just coming to our houses once again from quarantine in our respective cities. This is the way it's got to be done these days.
In the bubble.
That's right. So our guest today is a well-known veteran MMA fighter. He's coming off his fourth consecutive win, his 10th overall as professional. His recent victory back in January was his UFC debut, and the result is currently being billed as the #1 knockout of the year for 2020. Please welcome to the show, Herbert Burns. Hey, Herbert, how you doing?
Hi, Mike. Hi, guys. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. Self-isolated.
The Blaze.
You know, I'm trying to deal with the quarantine the best way possible. But yeah, I'm doing good. Hope you guys are good also. I hope everyone that's watching us at home also is well and safe.
And so, Herbert, we want the fans watching this to get to know a little bit about you and how you originally got started. Tell us where you're from and how it all began with MMA.
I'm from Niterói, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's a town right beside Rio. It's a town of like a lot of good fighters. If you guys follow Pride, like Ricardo Arona is from Niterói, Paulo Filho is from Niterói, Thales Leites, there's me, there's my brother, there's Shimon Moraes. There's a lot of good fighters from our town. Rafael dos Anjos is from our town. We went to the same primary school together, and so I'm from there. I did jiu-jitsu most of my life. I did jiu-jitsu from 11 years old until now. I'm still doing jiu-jitsu, but I got my black belt when I was 22. And when I was 22, I made my MMA debut in Brazil in a short notice fight. I won in 23 seconds. And then after that, I signed with one championship and fought there most of my career. I did 8 fights there. I got a good win streak, but at the end, I had like contract issues and we didn't renew the contract. And I had a layoff of 2 years. On my last 2 fights, it wasn't very good for me. It was in a different division. Then I came back to the US. I came to the US, signed with Titan FC, had 2 wins there. One of those was for the looking for a fight, where I got the spot to fight in the Contender Series. And from there, I made I won the Contender Series fights for first round submission. And my UFC debut was in January, like you said. I got a viral KO over Nate Landwehr. A guy was come a little hype behind him. And
Nice.
everything's great so far. If the year keep going like this, you'll have the knockout of the year. Hope for the fight.
You'll have that belt pretty soon, man, if you keep going at it, man.
So tell us a little bit about the Contender Series and how you got into that series and a little bit about what was going on behind the scenes while you were there.
I got the spot in Contender Series when I fought for the Looking for a Fight. It was Titan 54. I fought against Luis Gomez, tough Cuban guy, tough kid, former Titan FC champion. And during that camp, I hurt myself several times. And it was a hard camp, but I knew I could have I had a cut right at the end of the camp, like a week to the fight. Kai Uruguay, another Titan FC fighter, we were training, and he accidentally elbowed me. I was trying to go to his back, and he cut my eyebrow, and it was a back cut. And the guys were like trying to maybe you cancel the fight. I got home. He stitched we super glue the
super glue.
And we were on the fight. It was a perfect fight. I took him down, quickly went to the back and got a quick submission. First round, like 2 minutes. And then after that, I got the spot to fight in the Contender Series. I thought that night I was going to get the contract, the UFC. By the way, my performance was flawless. But yeah, another war, another day, another fight. So yeah, got the spot to Contender Series. The Contender Series, another hard camp, few injuries, few outside things going on. There wasn't taking my focus away from the fights, but I kept my plan, my head strong. And then I fought Derek Communion, a veteran, way more fights than me. He has 31 wins, 17 submissions. So a lot of experience on the fights.
Mm-hmm.
Charged very strongly at the start and put me against the cage. I made it get a clinch and pull guard. I believe in my jiu-jitsu so much that I can do that. Not everyone can do that. Even my brother goes crazy on a pull guard on a training. But the level that I have in the jiu-jitsu, so I managed to submit him in a triangle choke, an armbar from the triangle on the first round, also like 2 minutes, something like that. And I got the contract with the UFC.
Okay, so tell me, specifically how and when you got that nod from Dana White. Did he reach out to you directly and let you know that he'd like you to be on the show?
The UFC or the looking for a fight?
UFC.
I don't know, the Contender Series experience, they have after like 5 fights in a night, I was the second or third fight, and then you have to wait until everyone's done so he can call everyone is sitting, the TV is recording, and then he will give the contract if he sees anyone deserves the contract. And that night, 3 of the fighters got the contract. Myself, André Muniz, a Brazilian that's also got a submission, and Omar Morales, my training partner. So it was like because I finished the fight quick. The first fight wasn't very good. And then my fight I finished quick. But I wasn't very happy with my performance, so I was unsure. So it was like a tension moment until he decided to reward me with the contract. But it was pretty good. It was like I felt like the world was coming off of my shoulders.
That's awesome.
So tell everyone what it takes, what kind of training and determination it takes to get to that level and to find a win in the UFC.
Oh, it's been like sometimes I don't read much of the social media comments because a lot of people like they don't have a great life and they want to use their time to like put on fighters or some people their own frustrations. But sometimes I read, sometimes people tag me, and like unfortunately I have to see and people like, oh, was lucky. There's nothing lucky. Everything is super hard work. I work like from 11 years
100%.
old until now. I'm 32 years old to get to the point that I'm at, to get the level of experience that I have, to go there and show my skill, just to go there and test yourself and present yourself to millions and millions of people at home watching you. It takes a lot of courage, and some people don't appreciate that, what's unfortunate, but I can only focus on what I can control. What I can control is prepare, do my best every single day. That's what I try to do. I train a lot of boxing, a lot of kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, to be at the top of my shape and the conditioning also, and to put there and give a great show to the guys and get a good win, and that's what I did. So I'm trying to do that more. Keep training, keep in shape. Even now, UFC some event got canceled. I wanted to step in. I want to fight. I was ready. I was training how I could. It's not perfect. Was not a perfect situation, but we can't wait for the perfect situation. I want to capitalize soon. I'm already experienced. I want to rush to get to the top 15.
As long as you feel good.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm ready. It was a good win, good performance. I want to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, and, and those haters, all you got to tell them is they should go try and get punched in the face, you know?
No, yeah, people like to talk, but whatever, they can do whatever they want. Just ignore, focus on what you can control. Oh, they just, like I said, they just want to release the frustration on someone. Sometimes
fuck them, man.
They don't even have anything against you, but you're the target at that moment. Then 5 minutes later will be another person. So just ignore them.
Well, so we saw that last fight. It was a fantastic knockout. What did you see during that first round, and how did you set up that moment?
Like Nate, he always comes strong. Like he was famous to have a good chin to resist like punch on his last 2 fights. He got like knocked down twice on both fights, and he managed to recover and push the pace. So my strategy wasn't a knockout. My strategy was to work my jiu-jitsu and finish him. I saw myself like comparing the skills better than him everywhere. But as he had a good chin, I didn't want to waste a lot of energy and try to gas myself trying to knock him out. I'm like, if I take him down, should be it. So I started the fight, I pushed the pace a little bit, and he felt the strike and he wasn't ready for it. When I took him down, no defense. He didn't like, he couldn't adjust, not a defense. I managed to lock a good dart stroke, but he was smart. He was like, with his feet against the cage, he kept pushing me and breaking my balance and making me to adjust my grip, because if not, I was going to be on the bottom. And with his own merits, he managed to survive the choke and escape the grip. And when he did that, he threw a little flurry of punches that I managed to I got a few punches, not significant, but I managed to set it up the Muay Thai clinch and threw a vicious knee that put him out.
Okay. Well, so obviously there's a lot going on out there in the world right now. You know, I know UFC is having its struggles trying to get those fights set up, those dates set up, locations. What's the latest that you know right now about when you might be back in the cage and who your next opponent might be?
Next opponent, I don't know. My idea was to fight in May. I spoke with Ali, that's my manager. I spoke, hey Ali, I need to fight soon. What about May? Because before everything, before even Gilbert's fight, I wanted to fight 250. It was going to be in São Paulo, Brazil. It's a number card. It was 2 legends fighting, Cejudo fights and defending the belt against Aldo. Amanda was fighting also. So like I wanted to be part of the event. You have a lot of people's attention, and I want to be there to build my own brand. And fight in Brazil. I fought in Brazil once, but it was short notice fight. It was like a 3 days notice. So not even my family could have went to see the fight. It was just me and my coach. I made weights and fought there quick. So I want to fight for the Brazilian supporters with the fans beside me, but couldn't do that. So after the whole pandemic take over and change all the plans, last week I spoke to Ali again. Hey, I want to fight in May, if possible, because we were supposed the events to be tracked to be back next week. And then after the call, after we spar, because I went to spar, it was Thursday, when the news came out. I went to spar, and I would spar at 6 p.m. We spar. When I was like getting ready to spar, I got there a little late. Gilbert told me that, hey, they just canceled the fights. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, but I spar anyway. But Michael Johnson, Omar Morales, and Vicente Luque, all training partners, they were supposed to fight. They didn't know. So we trained. I already knew.
You kept the secret.
Yeah, we kept the secret. And then at the end of the session, Henry called us and hey guys, look, fight's canceled. And they're like, are you joking?
Oh, man.
Fight's canceled.
Were you at HardKnocks? Is that where you were?
I was HardKnocks. Disney canceled the plans and I don't know now. But apparently Dana White's Island thing will be the first fight should be on May 16th. So if it is May 16th, I'll try to be ready for that. I'm not sure if I will fight on the first one, the second one, but I want to fight as soon as possible. I want to, like, if it was for me, I'd fight 5 times this year. But I'm sure it's hard for the UFC, has a lot of fighters. But if I'm not hurt, I want to fight all the time.
Okay. So when you're not in training, I understand you are training and preparing others for upcoming bouts like you just mentioned. Can you tell us a little bit more about your gym and some of your most promising students?
I teach also a combat club, Burns BJJ. I teach jiu-jitsu twice a day. And I have a black belt I teach in the morning choir. And I have a lot of good students there. Few of the guys fight for Rize, for Cage Underground before, David Troach, and a few other guys. And I train at HardKnocks also. Now it's Sanford MMA. But yeah, there's a lot of good guys, good training partners, and there's Jersey. It's a Brandon. It's a good guy that should be fighting for you guys soon. He fought for XFN before. And
Yeah.
I think Jersey and David are the Brandon Carroll are the top prospects coming out of Combat Club and Burns BJJ. They will make a lot of noise. And in the hopefully
they're
soon.
already making a lot of noise.
Right. So let me ask you, how long you been here from Brazil?
In the US, I arrived here, it was 2018, I believe. 2017, yeah, 2000. I live in Brazil 2011 to go to Singapore. I live in Singapore for like 4 years.
Wow.
Then I went back to Brazil, stayed in Brazil a little bit, went to Europe, in Sweden, then came back to Brazil, traveled to the US here. First time, I think it was 16, just to visit, and then start training here, like the training, start teaching a combat club, helping Gilbert to build the Burns BJJ program, and then I like the training, I signed for Titan FC, so I moved here permanently now. And
I remember we were trying to get you on one of the underground cards.
Yes.
But it never happened. But I wish we would have got you on there.
Yeah, it was a good fight. The offer, I was interested on that one.
Yeah. Hey, almost.
Yeah, almost.
So did you already learn English before you came over? Because you speak perfectly. So I was curious about that.
Perfectly. I'm self-taught. I learned English while I was in Singapore. Singapore, they speak English there. The political language is English. The population is like Chinese, Malay, and Indian. Everyone speaks their own language, but everyone speaks English. So the new generation doesn't speak Malay, Indian, Chinese as much. They most speak English.
Yeah, they speak English, yeah.
But yeah, I have to. I went there. I already knew how to teach jiu-jitsu in English. But I didn't know how to speak. So I got there. I remember first class, I taught the class, hey guys, let's go warm up. Did the whole warm up, show the technique. And then I finished the class, the guys, hey, good English. How are you?
That's funny that you would go to Singapore to learn English.
I'm like, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. I knew a few words. Like, how long you staying here for? I'm like, 6 months. And then they're like, where you live? I'm like, no English. Like, he just taught the whole class.
Yeah. No.
English, and they're like, what?
You need the basics, enough to get the class going.
Yeah, and then, man, I was so frustrated. I got home, like, I studied every single day because people are trying to talk to me. I felt like so dumb. I'm like, how the hell can I communicate?
You thought you were going to go over there and have to speak Chinese.
Yeah.
Singapore. Indian.
So
yeah.
I improve my English. I'm still improving. I still have some people to help me here. My girlfriend helps me a lot, but I'm still improving. I don't think it's perfect. I have like a few grammar mistakes, but I'm trying to always improve.
Hardly noticeable. I mean, I'm telling you, we're having a good back and forth here right now, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but I mean, it's going real well. So I appreciate that that you learned so much and that we're able to have this conversation. So before I turn you over, because I'm going to have Gerardo ask you a few questions, I just want to ask you one more. So behind you on the wall there, I see a lot of pictures. Is that family behind you?
Yeah, there's some 5 pictures here. One championship time. My family, my daughter. I have a daughter. She lives in Brazil. That's my professor, my black belt professor. And then there's a few fights for the few pictures from the last fights, UFC Contender Series, me entering. Yeah, there's on the other side. There are more medals. There are more pictures, Gilbert and I. But yeah, I try to decorate the house.
I'm sure pretty soon there's going to be a lot more.
Yeah, hopefully soon will be a lot more for sure.
With the title, with the belt.
With the UFC belt, but yeah.
Nice.
One step at a time, and great steps. I did the first one. I am looking forward to the next one. Another strong performance.
So how old's your daughter?
She's 11. this coronavirus thing, when Gilbert fought in Brazil was March 14th. And her birthday is on March 18th. So my plan was to stay in Brazil until the 22nd, and then I fly back to the US. But again, COVID-19 rules the world now. So
Yeah.
they almost canceled the fights. We did the events, too lucky we did the events, but no public. And
Right.
when on the 15th after the fight, Sunday, I flew to Rio I flew her to Brasilia to watch the fight, but she couldn't watch the fight. But my flight was early in the morning. So I flew to Rio. I got the rental car, and then Gilbert called me, hey, just arrived, né? I said, yeah, I'm in the rental car. It's like, all right, drive back to the airport because we need to leave as soon as you can. It's not to be locked down here in Brazil. So UFC is changing our flights. American Airlines cancel our flights. They cancel all the flights coming from Brazil. So UFC is buying new flights for us to fly back to the US. So it was
Wow. Getting nervous, huh?
Yeah, very frustrating. But yeah, they managed to get a last flight coming out of Brazil. I got on the flights and managed to came back here. Next day, I talked to Renato Moicano. He's a UFC lightweight, and he was stuck in Brazil on the other day. He couldn't fly.
Okay. I was going to say, as far as your daughter's concerned, so all of us here on this call are all fathers of daughters. So we all have daughters. So it's a subject we all love to talk about. Yeah. But we're not going to go too far into that anymore. I want to turn you over to Gerardo because I know we're running short on time at this point. So Gerardo, feel free.
Hey, Herbert. Thanks for getting on the call, man. Hope everything is well. You seem like a very intellectual fighter. You think about everything. It seems like you study your opponent. How much studying did it take for you to fight at the UFC? How much studying did you do on your opponent?
Like I try to watch the fights. Like usually, they always improving. So you won't find the same guy if you see in the video. If they're good, they should be training. Should be a better fighter. So I'm always imagining that in my head, but I try to see the pattern that they do, because everything they build inside them, they've been training. Like to put a technique into a fight, it takes like years of training. Like the knee that I threw at the fights, I've been training the knee since 2011. Only now that I managed to apply the knee. Few takedowns I've been doing takes years. So there are things that they're not showing. They have a lot of tricks under the sleeve, but I try to see the pattern. So he's a striker. He would strike. He likes to push the pace. He won't change that. Doesn't matter the strategy it is. He will follow the strategy. But if I put so much pressure on him, he'll try to brawl. He's a brawler. Even if the guy's a grappler, I'm a better grappler, like Derek Miner. What he's supposed to do, he was supposed on the Contender Series fight. He was supposed to not grapple for me. He was supposed to no, he's a better grappler than me. I should not grapple. But the instinct that they have built of years and years and years speak louder than the strategy. That's the instinct make them. So I try to read the instinct, read the pattern. I watch not a lot of tape because if the guy does something good and that happens in the fight, you kind of freeze and you watch that, or you get nervous if that happens. But I watch enough to, he does that. That's the most defense moves he uses. He attacks like this. How is his ground? I watch in general twice every single last 3 fights. I watch twice every single fight. Watch one alone. Watch one of the coaches, and then I let the coach do the rest of the job. But I will have a strategy on the top of my head, how I'm going to behave in the fight. Plan A, Plan B. So from there, the coach will give me more feedback. Boxing coach say, hey, do this, it will be better for you. Henry says one thing. The wrestling guy, hey, you can't attack like this and this. Gilbert does jiu-jitsu. And from there I go.
I understand. Thank you. Were you more nervous to fight on the Contender or your first time on the big stage at the UFC?
The Contender. Contender was way more. I felt way more pressure. There's always pressure because I pressure myself to perform and the outside pressure, but Contender is not just like a normal fight. first has barely people there. It's like a empty arena, and there's no music, there's no announcer, there's nothing. It's just, hey, walk there to fight. And you push the door, you're going to fight. And you don't need to only win, because a lot of guys last year, they won the fights and did not get the contract. You need to kill.
Yeah.
It's not
you need to make a big statement right in front of Dana. Yeah.
Hey, a win is not a win. If not a kill, you don't get the contract.
Yeah.
So
100%.
during the fights, like, I was a huge favorite. So in my head, like, I need to finish this guy in the first, because if you go to the second,
Right.
there's a lot of criticism, and then it will be hard to get the contract, feel the fights were good or not. And I trained so hard, I wanted to control the outcome. So I'm like, I'm going to give everything from the start. And I managed to pull it off a good submission in the first round. But yeah, definitely way more pressure there.
Absolutely. So that being said, you said on the Contender Series, you have to go with the mentality that you have to kill, you have to put on a good show. You know what I mean? So your fights prior to that, did you have that same mentality, or were you more like, okay, I'm going to see how those fights go? Did you go into the Contender Series with a different mindset?
No, I always go for the kill.
Yeah, good.
I always try to pull the trigger first. I train the whole, like, usually like 12, 10 weeks to the fight. And I studied the guy before. So enter the cage, you don't need to study Chad. It's just kill him.
There you
Get
go.
the hell out of there as soon as I can.
Cool, man. Well,
I appreciate
like you.
Man.
I appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Armando.
Nice.
The Blaze. What's up, brother?
What's up, Armando? How you doing?
Good, man. So, being that you had a lot of these submission wins, I mean, are you considering yourself the new modern Damian Maia, man?
Yeah, I think I have a lot of submissions, a lot of quick submissions.
Yeah.
Like, not only me, Gilbert and I, like, we still have a sharp jiu-jitsu. Even if, like, that was my first KO. I have a striking. I just don't need to display all my techniques in one fight. I don't need to display all my tools in one fight. Right. I will try to finish the fight as soon as I can. If I see the opportunities on the ground, I will take the opportunity. I will take the fight to the ground and finish the fight. If it's on the feet, I want to finish the fight. And my style, it's aggressive and it's a technical strike. You won't see me brawling. You won't see, like, just try and force my will with strength. No, I will try to go around using technique. And I can do grappling, get a quick fight, and I can strike also. Which makes me
we haven't seen much of that because you just finish them real quick, man. A lot of your finishes are first round.
Yeah, which makes me comfortable. This nickname, the Blaze, I got on the second fight. It was gave to me from the Asian media because I finished a lot of submissions, like a lot of jiu-jitsu very quick, very fast. And my last name is Burns. They put the Blaze. I'm like, the nickname is a singular nickname. I tried to make the nickname for real.
Yeah. How much influence has your brother had in your career, man? You know, being that he's in the UFC, you know, he's a big champion as well. You know, he's headed up there right now.
I know he has a lot of influence on my career. His mentors, it's Gilbert for sure. He always like give you good inputs inside and outside the camp, outside the fight, how to behave, how to train, to keep training, to keep improving, to not just train when you're in camp. And we always do that for jiu-jitsu, but he like, oh, look, you need to do this, train for this guy is better for you when you're going to fight. That guy, this style is better for you, it's better to this and that. And he being in the UFC, had a lot of experience, and he opened my mind before the fight. Hey, it's just another. Vitor Belfort, he was like, man, you're doing great outside the UFC. You will just change the name on the floor.
and they're your main ones that you put in your corner, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Now, have you seen the video of that knockout? Did you see, like, after you need him, when you were about to take him, when he was going down, I saw that, you were going in for that strike and you hit the canvas, man, twice, really hard. You could actually hear it, man. Did you see that?
Yeah. So he was talking a lot.
you were going in there for that kill, man, huh?
The guy was something talking, and he has like the redneck style of, "Hey, he doesn't deserve to be here." I'm like, oh, man, seriously. I don't like to trash talk. I don't think it's good. Everyone has a style. I ask for what I want. Doesn't mean I won't ask anyone to fight me. I can't ask, hey, I want to fight for that guy. He's good. I'm better than him. I want to prove that. You don't need to offend the guy's mother and his country and his religion. I don't think
there's a little room for trash talk. It's fine. Yes. But when you take it beyond, that's when you were going in there for that kill, man. Yeah. Stop talking shit. Bah!
Even Gilbert now is like trying to get a fight for Woodley and Kobe, and he provokes them, but still in a respectful way, in a funny way that he make you interested. I don't think he undermined my value. Like said I shouldn't be in the UFC. That I was just UFC was doing a favor to my brother to put me in the show. I'm like, man,
you delivered that favor, huh?
Yeah, this guy is delusional. And then when I hit the knee, I saw he was out, but like in my head, I'm making him look the better man, the stronger man in the world. I'm like, hey, this guy won't be out because I saw in this fight. He got knocked down and he would come back. Right. I'm like, when he hit the canvas, I'm like, oh, I need to throw one more at least before the ref.
He's not coming. He's not waking back up.
So when I threw the punch, I like calculated. And when
I think you were going down at the same time, and you were striking.
The canvas before I expected. So when I hit the punch, I hit like the top of his head, and then my hand hit the floor. I'm like, damn, I missed the punch.
It was actually lucky for him that you didn't hit him, yeah.
And when I threw the second punch, the ref pushed me, and then I hit the floor again.
He's lucky. He's lucky he didn't get, because, man, I heard that. I heard it. I mean, everybody can hear that. It was just like a thump, boom, and then another one, boom. You were going in there for that kill, man.
I don't like to trash talk a lot, but he deserves so much that he was talking so much before the fight, because few weeks, last week I did the meme of the coffin troop, the guys dancing.
Yeah.
dancing into the coffin. I put that with my fight. I put together, post that on my social media, just because he deserved.
Yeah, he definitely deserved it for talking shit. But did you see? I don't know if you're aware of it or if you are, but I know that Forbes had a little article on your fight. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Forbes magazine. That's awesome, man.
Forbes magazine. And that night we went out to eat something after the fight. And Luke Rockhold had a VIP area in one of the bars there in Raleigh. And we went to the bar, and I couldn't find the entrance. And then when I found the entrance, I didn't know where Luca was, because the bar was huge. And then, 1 second, I'm just gonna silence the phone. Much better. And then when I got to the bar, there's a police and security in the front of the bar, and they were like, "Hey, did you just fought?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just fought." Man, the cops, all the security started taking pictures of me, and then the security, "I'm gonna take you where Luke was. You're looking for Luke Rockhold?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking for Rockhold." And then they took me there. When I got to the bar had a big screen, and when we got there, it was the Sports Center top 10 of the weekend, sports of the weekend, and it was I think number 6 or number 7, and it was showing that at the scene that they stepped in. They show, hey, UFC knockout, and boom, I was kneeling the guy, and then everyone kind of looked at me, and it was
that's awesome, man.
The paparazzi, man.
Yeah,
you had all the paparazzi.
Yeah, it was the
Herbert, so sorry about that. We're just running short on time, and the session's going to shut down. So I'm sorry about that, but we're gonna wrap up here. But I want to thank you I'm glad we got to know a little bit more about you today. It certainly has been great talking to you. Tell us really quickly, how can your fans follow you on social media?
You guys can follow me on Herbert Burns on Instagram, Herbert Burns MMA at Twitter, and Herbert the Blaze Burns on Facebook. So just go there, give you a like, and give a good comments and no hater comments. And if you can, I know not everyone can. Some people have financial difficulties and they need to come out of the house, or they have essential business. But if you can, stay at home. If you can, stay at home. It was never that easy to save the world. To save the world, just sit your ass on the couch, eat snacks, watch movies. If you do that, you can save the world. So if you can,
Absolutely.
stay at home. That's it.
All right. Well, Herbert, we really appreciate your time. It was definitely a pleasure having you on the show, and we wish you the best of luck in your next fight and into the future. We look forward to maybe having you come out and take a look at one of our shows coming up soon.
Definitely.
Herbert, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Herbert.
you.
Good luck with everything you're doing, man.
All right. This has been the latest episode of On the Rise. On behalf of Gerardo Ramos, Armando Gonzalez, and today's guest, the Blaze, Herbert Burns. This is Mike Feinberg. We look forward and hopefully you'll check us out again next time. Until then, stay safe. Have a great night, everyone. Take care.
Stay home. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.